my mum used to say to me, I ask too much questions. And I always want to know why this, why that, how does this work? And so I think it was like my mind and my spirit is just always searching for meaning, and to make that meaning something that makes sense, and not everything that is about is going to make sense, I suppose. So yeah, from there, what happened? Yeah, I had a few other jobs, um, just kind of random kind of jobs, um, and then what's I suppose in customer service, and now I ran a restaurant for a little while, um, and then I had a family, so I got married, and we had two children. Sadly, my wife passed away, and then I got married again, and I had
Sorry about
another.
that.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Thank you.
Sorry.
And then so I got married again, to my wife, who's still my wife. We've been married 25 years now, and we have a son. So we've got three children and three grandchildren, another one on the way. So that's the family stuff. Um, what I realized had been difficult is that the start that I had at school, um, because I didn't have any people, I didn't have enough people around me that could, I do believe in education, but I also believe in potential. And, formal education isn't everything. It is great, but it's not everything. And I think in definitely in our culture, it's given this high watermark. So why I'm saying that is because, I didn't have the opportunity to go to, I didn't know I had the opportunity rather to go to university or college. Um, and sometimes I look back on that with sadness. And so when I continued my sort of career, I realized that I could go to university myself. So I went to university and I studied counseling and therapy. And at the time, I was a financial literacy trainer. And it was that work really that made me study therapy, because what I was doing, OBA, I was talking to people about money, and I realized that this was a subject that people do not like to talk about. And then I wondered why. Why was it so bad? Why was it so hard and painful? So the groups that I ran were successful, but I wanted to know why. Again, my curiosity: why is it successful? And I think it's because of um, my nature, allowing people to feel comfortable to talk and explore, and kind of, I think once you do that, you kind of get things off your mind and let other people hear it, and you'll find out that other people are going through similar circumstances. Other people are doing things that are inspiring and different. So that took me on the journey of learning about therapy. Um, I didn't become a therapist then. I just had the qualification, and then I was still doing the money management stuff. Um, and now at the moment I work in recruitment. So again, I work that's different, about curiosity, learning about businesses. What do businesses do? What do they need? How do you match people? How do you have sort of retention in business and stuff like that? So I work with I've been past 2 years I've been working with a lot with young people. That's fascinating education system. The education get qualifications, but not about money. And you're going to get money when you get a good job. So that was interesting to me. But the education system is also not teaching them about um, how to get a job and what jobs there are. And it's just interesting that there's a big disconnect between, your qualifications and what happens when you get the qualifications in terms of jobs. So I see young people sit down in front of me and I'll say, what did they teach you in terms of now where you are now? And they say just about being obedient, just following the rules. Um, And I think we're in a different space now where we do have to follow, the rules so that, they don't get arrested and hurt. But, it was a creative space where we can do a lot. So a lot of young people, I think, are lacking confidence in the job market. So really, that's where I am now. I'm working on a book with my daughter, a story book. So she's studying at the moment. So when she finishes, then we can kind of complete that. And I think as a grandfather now, which is a role which I absolutely adore. I adore that role. It's now being able to kind of transfer some of the hopes, I suppose, the experiences and some of the passions and the culture that we have in our family and as Black people, and how we've overcome things, and how different things mean what they mean to us, to this generation, to give them some stuff that we didn't have as when we were growing up. There were lots of things that, as Black people, we didn't talk about, and I didn't understand why, because I'm nosy. I want to know why. So yeah, that's really why I suppose that's brought me about here.
All right, now we're going to spend some more time on your childhood now, because of course you are no longer a child now. You are you are a grandfather now, no? But of course, help us understand you when you were much smaller, so that other people younger who are listening to us just now can benefit from you, can make comparison. They can understand what were going on in your time compared to what is going on in their time. Of course, they have to make their own conclusion at the end of the day. So when you were growing up as a young person of African descent in the UK, how was uh, how was your environment like in terms of the relationship that you had with the people, between you and the state and the society generally? Give us some curiosity.
Wow. So to be honest, I didn't know what racism was. I didn't know what it was, but I experienced it. Um, the way in which we were treated at school, I didn't understand why we were treated different. I remember I had a friend, um, he was Nigerian, and the teacher came out of the class and just slapped him in his face. And I just didn't understand. Joseph, his name was. I didn't understand why. And this didn't happen to white children. Um, so imagine being 11 or 12 and that happening. And there was no, we didn't even use the word OBO. So that was a real challenge. Not being, a first generation of Black British, not having the sort of the depth of grounding of being here was difficult. And I think so. It just kind of like, you didn't even I didn't even go home and talk about it. Um, we grew up in a time where everything other people did was right, and we felt like we weren't listened to, and really we just had to get on. We just had to get on. So that was really tough. Um, uh, I've got to mention music. Music played a massive part in my life. I would go as far as to say almost, music is like my religion, because the music that we listened to, it encouraged us, it supported us, it made us feel like we were one. It made us learn about our history. It made us learn about um, things that were happening in the here and now. And it was limited to reggae and soul music, but it was uplifting music, and that was a massive part of my um, um, upbringing. Um, but thinking about career, I always wanted to be a photographer. That was my dream. My aspiration was
Hmm.
to, it clicked like cogs when I was about 12 or 13, is to be a photographer. And the teacher, I studied so much, and I said to the teacher, in my audacity, that I can run this class, and I want to run this class and teach everybody black and white photography, but I want you to teach me color. And he said, no. I said, I can do it. He said, no. And then I said, all right, I want to do A-level photography. And he said, no. And that was like somebody had mortally wounded me. When I went to go and speak to the careers people, they said, what do you want to do? I said, I want to be a photographer. And they said, okay, here's a company where you can do engineering. I don't know how engineering was connected to photography. So at the time, I didn't know about different careers. I didn't know that I could say no to this man. I didn't know that I could be more persistent. So I think, what I would say to young people now is find what you want to do and do it, and kind of, try to stay on track and find others that are off that ilk that want to do that. And I think then, because that threw me off course, what I did, I learned, I tried to learn about lots and lots of different things to find out if photography is something I can't do, let me find other things to do. English, I was very good at English as well.